Jones.
I want to go back to your calls to Daniel, Jack, Nick, Enrica, and then I'm going to get into the other news because there's a lot of it and it's important the time we have left in this Friday edition. I'll be back this Sunday, 4 to 6 p.m. in the aftermath of will Congress even be able to read the bill? They weren't allowed to read the stimulus package. They weren't allowed to read the Patriot Act. They won't be allowed to read the banking reform bill. It's gone from 200 pages to 500 to 600 to 800 to 1,100 to 1,200 to 1,300. They say 1,300 more pages were added last night, hundreds more today, other pages being pulled out, stuck in. They won't publish what it is. But, yes, we posted video we posted a lot of these, of Chinese with sticks and stones. When the police get caught killing citizens, they go out, attack the police, burn down the police stations. And I say they have a lot of spirit. And the Chinese government's corrupt, wicked government. Their people have a right to fight back against it. And when that caller calls in and says, have this guy on or have that guy on, the caller was Dave. You know, I like the people you're talking about, and I like the work they do. But then people are always jabbing me saying, Alex doesn't call for armed revolt. Alex is bad. Alex doesn't, do this. And I'm not talking about the person you were mentioning. I'm talking about overall people calling for armed revolt or getting close to calling for it. Within 2 hours of Poplawski killing those cops, within hours of that happening, the Southern Poverty Law Center had fed one person's name out of the hundreds of sites. It turned out he'd visited Fox News, CNN, Stormfront. One name was fed to the police and the news media by the Southern Poverty Law Center. Me. They want to come after me. And I got all these big newspapers calling me up going, what about Richard McCaslin that went in the Bohemian Grove with guns and set things on fire? When nobody was there, by the way. It looks like a setup to me. This Marine. What about Poplawski? What about this? Oh, do you need to be arrested? Basically. And they are circling me. I'm at a level nobody's ever gotten into in the Patriot movement. And let me tell you, it isn't fun. And I've always supported everybody else when they get set up or sent to jail and told people to support and send money to people and stuff. And then not even by that individual, but by people around them, I get criticized. That I don't like. When I just give and give and give and give. And then always the people, and separate, not Mark that you were talking about, but other talk shows, people say, Alex Jones needs to call for war and death and shooting war and moose hunting. And I always quote Mark on that, about how there's tens of millions of patriots and only a few million police and military, and most of them are actually on our side now. And it's like moose hunting up north, in New York and Michigan and places. There's so few moose per hunters, they have a lottery. Maybe 1 out of 20 people gets a moose hunting ticket. And it tells you if it's a sow or if it's a buck or whatever they call the male and female moose. I think it's sow. Look up female moose. But the point is, it's in foxes, the male's called a dog and the female's called a vixen. I mean, every species has got different names. A gaggle's a certain number of crows. A murder's another number. What is it? It's a cow. Okay, the cow. I know there is a whole bunch of mammal species where the female's called a sow, like whales. Some species of whale the mother's called a sow. Other species of whale. In fact, look up female whales. It's only certain species are called sows. I can't keep track of it. I know that people think of a female pig as a sow. I got important news to cover, and I'm covering sows here, but I guess that's kind of the issue is there's only maybe 1 out of 10 guys, depending on the lottery, what the Fish and Wildlife people come up with every year. It might be 1 out of 5 people gets to hunt a moose that goes in for the lottery, 1 out of 100, whatever. Sometimes when the deer numbers are down in Texas, in certain counties, they have a lottery. And not everybody gets a, permit on the wildlife management, as they call it. So the analogy here is there's 10 million patriots at least. If each patriot goes out and bags just one moose, there'll be no more moose left. There's more patriots than there are moose. The moose being the police. I don't want that to happen. I don't want that to go to that point. Plus, I'm on the air waking people up about the general knowledge. I get the folks woken up. I get them energized. I get them awake. I get them to be aware of what's going on and happening. And everybody ought to be happy in the Liberty, Patriot, 9/11 Truth movement, Anti-New World Order movement, Libertarian movement, because everybody I talk to says 80% of the folks getting woke up are from this show. By the grace of God, we've hit the zeitgeist. And so I wake the people up, my listeners spread the word and wake people up. This is the engine. And then that increases the movement overall. But then there's kind of this paradoxical thing of a lot of the people, the common folks love me, but then a lot of people in the movement itself kind of get envious and jealous of me because some of them aren't in it for the right reasons. And then others don't agree with me politically or this idea or that idea. We got to keep the ammunition going down range at the New World Order. That's the issue. That's the target. That's who's got to be dealt with. And a lot of it's just flat out business. I mean, I've had other little networks and stuff call up all my sponsors and try to get them. And if I just tell the sponsor when they're asking me, well, is there any listeners? I go, no, but, on this other thing, but do what you want. That turns into me doing this or that. That's a lot of people. This is a business. To me, this is a total mission, a total commitment. I realize my life's on the line. I passed the point of no return a long time ago. And I'm committed come hell or high water to beat this New World Order. Okay, let's shift gears since I got off into Sal's. Well, let me just finish by saying, I genuinely believe in keeping this peaceful as long as we can to grow our numbers. We're actually building strength every day as the enemy gets more and more exposed and unveiled as criminal and out of control. Now, maybe people can intellectually argue and debate with me about those facts, but so do the Founding Fathers. We can still be friends about that, about whether this is the time, whether this is the place. When you start seeing more government massacres and massacres of people rioting and demonstrating, and when you see more abuses and more Wacos, that's when it's going to happen. And a lot of people that wanted war, once it starts, aren't going to like it. I'm doing everything I can so that if it ever comes to the point where I got to go out and lead people or whatever it takes, and I'm ready to line up at Bunker Hill, ladies and gentlemen. I'm ready to vote with my muskets. But I got to do everything before I get to that point. This is like a jiu-jitsu match, and we're grappling, we're wrestling, and we're starting to get the momentum in the fight. And the enemy wants to get out of our grapple and stand up straight and go ahead and have a full-on battle right now. We're the one. Time is on our side. Like the Rolling Stones songs. You got to pull that up on YouTube, play a clip of it. Time is on our side. Well, that's some really good singing, isn't it? Call your representatives. Shoot down the bill. We've had many victories. It may pass, then it goes to the Senate. But by the time it gets in there, we'll find out then all the unpopular provisions. But that'll take a week or so for folks to ferret through 1,600 plus pages or whatever it is. They say it's growing. And then we've got to look at those provisions, try to make the Senate strip them out. Most of it won't be stripped out, but at least we're trying to beat it today. We're doing the best job we can. People thought this wouldn't pass because in polls, 80+% of Americans are against it. They don't care. 99%, depending on the poll, 98% were against the banker bailout. It happened. They just don't care. They're criminals. But let them show everybody they're dictators. Let everybody see it. Now these bastards are getting so bold, they're openly announcing foreign troops. Educate people about this. Tell them, speak out now. They're going to shut down the communications once this goes hot. We need to, whether you want it to come fast or slow, spend the time you got to warn as many people as you can. I'm not spending time trying to move out of Austin to the country to protect myself for all of this. I'm just staying here because I don't have the time and energy to even move or find a place or get out of here. And hopefully we can expose them and they'll kind of back off and this thing won't go to an all-out war. There's a lot of people who've got like a Rambo complex where they want to see this conflict in the U.S. and the globalists think they're ready for it. I believe they're going to lose. But I just can't believe it's going to happen. I mean, it's pretty much going to happen. The more I look at things, it's going to be hellish. So we do post things like that from China to show you. These fools email me and say, if we have war with the government, they got better equipment. Nothing can stop guerrilla warfare, ladies and gentlemen, in a nation this armed. The issue is they want to put their cashless grid in. That's 5 to 10 years. Once that's in, it'll be even harder. So it's an equilibrium. So I'm fighting them putting the grid in. We're trying to slow that down. So there's some arguments for the longer we wait, the worse it is. There's other arguments for the longer they wait, the worse it is for them. I've seen their own white papers and a lot of their own statements. They believe the longer they wait, the harder it is on them. That's why they want to go ahead and get it on in a combat situation now. These are important subjects. Maybe I should have folks like Mark and people on about that. It's just, I need to continue to broadcast. I need to continue to put the information out here. I've already had the FBI and Secret Service here at my offices, and I told people that and they didn't believe it. Now it's been all over the newspapers. I mean, I've been physically attacked. I am at the very tip of the spear here, and I'm trying. I'm not a George Washington, folks, okay?